And Jonathan, this is the one which you've been expecting in terms of user stories and how you can do sprints and have them managed in one single workplace. So
Yeah.
let's imagine that at the end of the fit gap analysis, we've got all of the user stories. So these are the different user stories, and they come in as part of different backlogs. Like each of the consultants have their own backlog: FI backlog, MM backlog, SD backlogs, QM backlogs, etc. So all of
Yeah.
those can be loaded up with the MSCW priority as per SAP, what SAP recommends: must have, should have, could have, etc. Or out of scope, or where did it come from, and who was the business owner who raised it, etc. Now it can be loaded up, and the experience is simple, quite simple, just like an Excel template, or one could just add it like how they want to add. So the experience is quite simple here. But the core, the user stories are created. Now,
Mm.
what we typically recommend is to create your sprint planning. So we go to project settings, and we have the option to create different sprints which you want to have. Like you can have April monthly based sprints, or 15-day sprints, or 30-day sprints, or however you want. So you can just create them, and then the next thing you might have to do is that let's take the rise of tracker. SAP published a single Excel template which we call as rise of tracker, and it goes to the column of AA, like 27 different columns about what the rise of object is, which process it is linked to, which user story was it linked to, who's the stakeholder, when was the FS specification date, TS specification date, coding date, unit testing date, training date, when is it delivered as part of that particular object. Right now, the platform has got information about the process components. It has the information about the process. It also has the information about your user stories. Now, the platform allows you to create something called your rise of development template. So for a given rise of object, what are the different tasks that has to be performed? Functional specification reviews, technical specification reviews, custom code development, unit testing, and documenting it. So these are the tasks which I have configured as part of this project for a single rise of object. Now, it is just about selecting the rise of objects which I need to have as part of the task custom code development. So custom development, and I'll choose the user stories as process components, as driver programs or workflows, etc. And if I choose the rise of development, the product will load up all of the tasks needed for the rise of objects to be done. Because I selected 3 rise of objects, and the template had around like 5 tasks, it gets loaded up automatically. So it's about which project plan does it come under, which particular activity or LP level in our
Mm.
project plan does it fall under. Customer rise of development. So rise of development will be an entry item actually. So I will load it up here. Now choosing the stakeholders in terms of who does the FS, who does the TS. So all of these are more like pre-filled information which the product has got, but these are enhancements which we are still working on, but that should be possible. And when should this rise of object be ready? April sprint, May sprint, all of that.
Okay.
And then the dates. Once that is done and I hit submit, I'll just copy one so that we can go look into our project planning or your timeline. So that the items are created. Let me go to my tasks. So, and let me search for the task which I just created now. So for this particular object, I got the task created. And now the user stories are converted into tasks for a given sprint. And I can go to my sprint backlog and go to sprint reporting, where I'll be able to modify or look into sprint wise, user story wise, stakeholder wise, status wise. How are the things looking? How good are things? Like let's say for the April sprint, for the user stories, for the stakeholder, what are the different tasks that needs to be performed? This one is more in terms of your sprint planning and sprint orchestrations, or your daily stand-up calls, which happens as part of the
Mhm.
build cycle.
Yeah.
Because each of these are different tasks. So let's say document or unit functional spec review. So this is a task. So you just load your functional specification document as part of this task, and it rolls back to your files explorer, which we saw earlier in the week. So
Yeah.
all of the artifacts for each of the custom objects with specific task types can be loaded up. And this is exactly what Nidhi was asking about. How do you make sure all of the rights of objects, reviews, functional specs, unit test documents are loaded up or managed within the platform?